What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dog Waters, and I'm back. And for a moment, just for a brief moment, can we just travel out into the future? Now, our future is based on what happened in the past, but the past no longer exists. We can all agree to that. We can't go back, at least me and you don't have the ability to travel back into the past and then into the future. But I will say this. In the past, I would say over the past 4 years, 8 years, when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got elected and people went out and protested in the streets, they were called insurrectionists. It was a damn insurrection. You remember? Remember. Everybody was traitors to their country. They were insurrectionists. They were all these different things. So let's start here. Breaking news. Democratic Eric Swalwell told liberals not to go quiet, to get loud and get active just 3 hours before chaos erupted in Chicago. Republican Eric Swalwell just called the nation to violence. Now, based on the rules that the Democrats have played by, this is insurrectionisms. All these people should be locked up and put in a gulag. This is January. No, it's not January 6th. What's the date? November 7th. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, I believe they have until Inauguration Day to act a damn fool. But after Inauguration Day, these people should be treated like criminals. Now, I know people will say, well, they got the First Amendment, they got the right. Absolutely, they do. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to play by the rules other people play by. Now, do I think Donald Trump will do it? I doubt it. Should it be done? Absolutely. Now, marching down the street, making noise, okay, cool. You mess around and break the law in any way, if you jaywalk. So like all these people obstructing the street, if they ain't got no permit, everybody put on a bus and put in prison. Everybody rounded up and locked up. Point blank, period. We can't go through another 4 years of them acting a damn fool. Now, as far as Eric Swalwell is concerned, Eric Swalwell is an insurrectionist. Roger Stone was put in prison. Alex Jones was tried to put in prison. Owen Schroyer was put in prison. They got little old ladies locked in prison right now for walking into the Capitol. But you can encourage your people to go out into the streets and act a fool. And they talking about free some damn Palestine. If you don't sit your monkey ignorant behind down. But watch this. It gets worse. Them strategists, we don't know how to talk to normal people. We are not the party of common sense. So I was saying yesterday that the issue that the Democrats ran into is they don't have any self-reflection. And I would say that anyone who is a pundit that's talking about this stuff has come to this conclusion that these people lack the ability to look within themselves. And the reason why is because there's nothing in there. And come to the conclusion that no, we need to change. They believe that everything is external. Everything external is the problem. So, we have in this situation somebody telling the truth. And I want to hear, for once, somebody tell the truth.
How that transpired later on, perhaps this wouldn't be the situation, and we'll never be able to know, right? What do you say to that?
You know, I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. We don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university, and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition.
Thank you. See, this girl right here, whoever she is, she's kind of cute too. See, if they would have took her advice, they might have won. Because ain't nobody got no time to be playing games with these people. She's saying, look, we play too many damn games. Go ahead, cute girl, keep telling me.
That we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people
No, you got to go a little bit further. You should tell them, ain't nobody calling you by no damn pronoun. That pronoun shit go out the window. I'm going to call you by your name. If you look like a her, I'm going to call you her. If you look like a him, I'm going to call you him. If it's the wrong thing, that's your problem. You the one sending out mixed signals. I'm not supposed to be sitting here trying to figure out a damn Rubik's Cube puzzle of your identity at all. That's not my job to figure out your damn identity. It's your job to make it clear to me who and what you are. It's clear that James Williams is a man. Full-grown damn man. Ain't nobody confused that this is a man? And if I was to come here with lipstick on and long, luscious hair like Shanae, then you would say, something's fucking wrong with me. This Negro done bumped his head. He crazy. And need to put him in institution. Point blank, period. Your craziness and you being insane don't mean I need to fall into your trap of insanity. No, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. If you're a man, I'm going to call you a man. If you're a woman, I'm going to call you a woman. If you got a problem with that, you have a problem. Not me, not them, you. And that's the kind of conversation you need to have with these damn children. But you see, they done brainwash them. Go ahead, girl. Keep on going.
They're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Shermichael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's
because your focus group is a bunch of damn idiots, and y'all ain't focused. Your focus needs more focus. Remember they said that on Karate Kid? Your focus needs more focus.
It's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden...
No, you about 30 years away from being a party of common sense. Y'all so far away from being a party of common sense because y'all spent 16 years making people dumb as bricks. You so far away from that.
Is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you.
Ooh, you saw how that brother just... Well, I'm going to rewind it. Watch the look on his face. That's that, fuck, she right. Watch. But it's going to hit both of them at the same time. Watch.
Years, I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably...
Let's slow it down. I want y'all to really see it. We can't slow it down. Damn it. That's all right. You're going to see it. Watch his face. Watch his face. Watch it.
Like 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you.
Even here. See, that's when that truth sink in. And see, this is that reflective moment where truth is being spoken and it's hitting against everything inside that man's head. And he's in there saying, you know what? She right. She damn right. But I can't say she right because I'm going to lose my job. And when they get to the point, the Democrats, we ain't worried about nobody else. When they get to the point to where somebody can tell them something and they can say that person's right and then they can make a change and not be in fear of losing their jobs, then America's going to be fantastic. I would love to see a Democratic Party that was pro-God, pro-family, pro-guns, and they just had a couple other things. They wanted a little bit bigger government. But no. The shit that we got right now, pro-abortion, pro-LGBTQ, pro-war, pro-every damn thing that's the destruction of the nation is terrible. The strength of a nation is when all sections of the nation are in line with each other. And so what's happening to them is the old Democratic Party is about to be destroyed. and it's burning, it's on fire. That's why over the next couple of days, well, over until Inauguration Day, you're going to see the flailing arms and legs of a party that's gasping for its last breath, which makes them very dangerous at this point in time. I mean, they bleeding out all over the place, but they're like, if I could just hit somebody while I'm bleeding and kill them, I'm gonna kill them all. That's what you're witnessing. That's what you shall witness. That's what we see coming down the pipeline. And as I show you more and more articles, you'll understand why. But I'm gonna give you a juxtaposition. Part of the juxtaposition is going to be the people who are taking responsibility. The other part is going to be people who playing the blame game.
We appreciate what you say because you speak our language. And until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes.
Go ahead, girl. Tell them like it is. Now, let's get back to the insurrection of menaces. Gavin Newsom poised to become leader of the resistance for Trump. Look at this crazy vampire. But nonetheless, Gavin Newsom is poised to become the leader of the resistance to President-elect Donald Trump as he finishes his second term in office and set his sights on a possible presidential run in 2028. Bruh. The resistance, if we playing by the Democratic rules, by him being the leader of the resistance, he needs to go to prison because he's insurrectionist. I mean, you couldn't even use language. Words made you an insurrectionist. Words made you a traitor. That means that he is a traitor. And at some point in time, the mirror is going to have to be held up to the Democratic Party so the Democratic Party can say, okay, well, damn, we went way too far. So what they're saying is this vampire is going to be who runs in 2028. Now, you remember there was a time period where and I'm going to tell you, had they had their primaries, he would have told Kamala Harris a new butthole. I'm serious. He would have told Kamala up. Gavin Newsom would have told Kamala up. Point blank, period. Now, Trump would have smashed Gavin Newsom, but he would have told Kamala up. Gavin's going to have to fix a little bit of California before he can run for president. You can't have California being a shithole where people are leaving and businesses are leaving and say you're going to be president in 2028. It don't make no damn sense. But nonetheless, again, this goes back to what I was saying. They refuse to take a look at what they did wrong. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this. If you want to be successful at anything, I mean anything in life, the first thing you do when you make a mistake is you stop. The next thing you do when you make a mistake is you admit that you are wrong. Or even if you wasn't fully wrong in a decision, but you had a part in being wrong, you admit your part at being wrong. And then you sit your behind still and you say, okay, clearly I made the wrong decision. Damn it. What did I do wrong? And you try and learn from the mistake. What this article is telling me is that they're just saying, no, we ain't learned shit from our mistake. We're going to keep on going. This article also tells me that Gavin Newsom is stepping forward, throwing his hat in the ring early. Now, there's going to be plenty of other people who pop up to say they're going to be the leader of the resistance or they're going to be the next person to run for office. But Gavin is coming out saying, hey, I'm going to be the next guy. And if you recall, there was podcasts that Gavin were on and they asked Gavin about Kamala. And he, slick side, said, well, I was told Kamala was going to be the nominee. And he just moved on. And he kind of smiled like, yeah, they told me she was going to be the nominee. So Gavin is kind of like, I told y'all so I could do better. And that's where we are. Now, let's get to some of the disturbing things. Oh, I wanted to get to somebody else. Old Skeletor, Jim Carvell. Trump's win is sickening and depressing. Longtime Democrat strategist Jim Carvell had a meltdown over former President Donald Trump becoming the president-elect. Tells his podcast listener that his win is depressing and sickening. Can we take a quick listen to this?
Yeah, I guess my outrage is more of an observation. And I just have to get over the fact that I'm 80 years old and I live in a country that has put a felonious bigot who has no idea of what the world is like, is the most parochial, secular person that you could imagine. And I don't know what percent of this defeat is because we didn't embrace the change message, or we kept something too long. There's some flaw in our strategy and our.
I'm gonna stop it right there. We're gonna listen to what he got to say next, but let me put this in context for you, so you will understand. Jim Carvell is the Don Dada of political consultants. So you could tell when the political party, the Democratic Party, the Kamala Harris campaign started listening to Jim Carvell, because their messaging became very hardcore. It became very sinister. So when you go back to Hillary versus Donald, the messaging that Hillary had was Jim Carvell. It's why you notice Hillary had this more ferocious messaging. You had PP Gate and dossiers and all these old school Democratic, under the table, destructive tactics. And so they shot every bullet at Donald through Hillary. I mean, they shot everything at him. And if you go back and look, everything that was through his first term that he was dealing with, all those traps and snares were created by this man, Jim Carvell, and his team. So Russia, the phone call with, I think it was the very first phone call with Zelensky, the thing about him and Putin, the thing about him having Russian sex slaves, all that stuff came from Jim Carvell. Every last bit of it. And so now, with that in context, as Jim Carvell is talking, you understand that Jim's come to the conclusion that he's useless. So when he says, when he says Trump's win is sickening and depressing, yeah, it's depressing because you, Jim Carvell, threw everything you threw, the kitchen sink, the tub, every piece of silverware, every plate, every glass. You threw the sofa, the TV. Shit, you took the ceiling fans out the ceiling and threw them at Donald Trump, and it didn't work. But Jim got caught up in fighting the old war. Jim, this is James. You got caught up in fighting the old war. You got so caught up in your strategy that you didn't give a damn about who you were targeting. And had you just left your little castle and walked your ass out somewhere and went anywhere outside of New Orleans and went to any conservative area and you could have put on a silicone mask and went and just sat around and talked to people, you would have known immediately that all the stuff you were doing was stupid. Everything was stupid.
A presentation, but at the end of the day, there's still, a lot of people had voted for this, and everything people in Texas knew about Ted Cruz, and the thing that hurt so bad is Colin Howard is the very definition of a really fine person. So I'm going to I have to reevaluate. I'm sure I'll come up with something to make me feel good again. But right now, today, it's hard. I'll be honest with you. And
Stop. I'll reevaluate, and I think I'll come up with something to make me feel good again. Let me translate that for you. Every damn thing I did didn't work. I threw everything at this, so I'm depressed. I need some time to reevaluate, and I'm going to come up with a new strategy to attack. But right now, I'm just not in the headspace where I can attack. And that's what he's telling his constituents, and that's what he's telling his listeners. And I'm very damn happy to hear this. I'm happy to hear this. Because it means that the number one political strategist, other than, I'm looking at her name, I'm looking at her face, but I can't remember her name, Donna Brazile. It's him and Donna Brazile. They got their ass whooped. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Jim probably told them, hey, y'all got to cut out all this crap that y'all doing with the LGBTQ, with the killing all the babies. He probably told them that. He probably was like, y'all got to cut all this crap out. You're not going to win an election like that. But in his mind, his machine, their theft machine, their celebrity machine, their machine has been defeated. And not only has it been defeated, it's been rejected. And I love to hear it in his voice.
And the hardest thing is that I look across this country and tens of millions of people fell for this shit. And it's depressing. But
now, again, this is the prime example of them not looking and not being able to reflect. Guys, I want you to understand something about wicked, evil people. You need to understand this. You know you came across a wicked person because they have no truth in them. When truth is in you, you're going to sit there and say, well, shit, what the fuck did I do wrong? Man, I was messing up. I was down bad. When there's no truth in them, they don't look at themselves. It's your fault. You were fooled. You were tricked. You don't know what you're doing. I'm right. You're wrong. And when you see someone take a defeat like this, and they still don't sit there and say, well, damn it, our policies are wrong. You notice him talk about Colin Allred. The reason why nobody voted for Colin Allred was Colin damn Allred had endorsed men being in women's sports. And everybody's like, we don't want boys competing with our daughters. But then he turns around and says Colin Allred was a fine person. Hell no. Colin Allred, and actually, man, Colin Allred could have been, we might be able to sit down and smoke cigars with Colin Allred and had a glass of champagne or a glass of liquor, and he'd be the coolest dude on the planet. But that shit don't matter. You are endorsing little boys playing sports with little girls. And you endorsing boys hurting girls. You're endorsing boys going in women's bathrooms. And that's the only thing people care about. They don't care about Colin Allred. They ain't 90% of the people ain't gonna never meet Colin Allred and sit with him behind closed doors or have dinner with him. They care about what Colin Allred stands for and what he voted for. And so the issues are your policies. And the bigger issue is your donors who have these agendas. And so nobody wondered how the Democrats spent $1 billion. $1 billion. Nobody says, well, where did they get $1 billion? The issue is your donors have things they want you to do. And so you're tied into their agenda. And the average person ain't giving you enough money to run your crappy campaigns because the average individual does not agree with your policies. The only people that agree with your policies are people who don't know your policies. That's it. They don't know. If they really understood and knew them, they'll be, I can't screw with you. And then crazy people that you've turned crazy.
It is. I will snap out of it.
Yeah, I can't listen to this bastard no more. As you can tell, I don't like him personally as an individual. Zelensky hails excellent call with Trump. Unwavering U.S. leadership, vital for the world. Now, last time he talked to Zelensky, they was like, he talked to Zelensky and it was illegal. He couldn't talk to Zelensky. You remember? He can't talk to Zelensky. It was an illegal call. He was like, I had the perfect phone call. Me and Zelensky had the perfect call. My call was perfect. It was a perfect call. I mean, we got to bring these things back to memory. And so let's see if they try and run the same programming again. But I'm pretty sure he did call Zelensky and say, hey, Zelensky, you're going to have to stop this bull crap. I'm going to put my foot up your behind. This war going to come to an end. Then Putin came out and said, and it's very significant what Putin said. I just saw it over here. Give me 1 second. I hate to scroll like this while you guys are on because everybody else is so good. They have it. Second of all, this is what Ukrainian soldiers are doing right now. I don't know how you expect to get money from us if you're doing that kind of crap, but whatever. Where's the stuff about Putin? No, I'm in the wrong place. Putin says it's the end. That's what happens when you do stuff live. Putin. It's not here. Nonetheless, Putin came out and said that it was the end. It was time for a new global order. And when you really look at what he said, he's talking about the New World Order that was in place. The people who were in play, the World Economic Forum and all the rest of them are now getting ready to get their butts whipped. But if you don't understand, the nation of Russia was being attacked by Ukraine as a proxy because Russia was fighting against the World Economic Forum and the New World Order. And how do you know this? Because the Russians didn't go along with their vaccines. You ain't never heard nothing come out of Russia. It was like, it's thousands of millions of people dying in Russia because they didn't go along with their COVID vaccines. And so they were using our military might to fight Russia. That's why they were surrounding them with the UN. And their plan was to get control of America and then use America to whip Russia in place. That's why the BRICS nation were brought into full fruition. I was talking to somebody, I was commenting with one of you guys, and the guy was like, well, the BRICS nation were formed up because of the US dollar. No. The BRICS nation were formed because we were under occupation. We were taken over. And of course, the dollar was being weaponized. It was absolutely being weaponized. But the reason why it was weaponized is because we were under occupation. And we're quickly coming from under that occupation. Hold on, I want to find this about Putin. I'll be right back. And I gotta pee real quick. Don't go nowhere. Look, I was supposed to be finding Putin. And I have over here my notes right here, Putin. But then I looked over and I saw this and I thought this was 10,000 times more important than talking about Putin at this point in time. Because it's real important that you understand, now that we won the election, here's what's coming down the pipeline. But this time, when your friends and family start to get afraid, I want you to tell them about this now. Here's how I want you to play this. And in fact, guys, we getting ready to start I'm just going to start asking you to do little things. If you're cool with it, say yes in the comments. And I want you to trust me, because I'm pretty good at this. So watch this. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell your family and friends and say, hey, and this is your liberal family and friends and everything else. Say, hey, man, I don't know if you guys heard about this new monkeypox variant in the UK, but it's going to be in the news in America real soon. You tell them before it hits the news. You know it's going to hit the news. And I'll show you how you know it's going to hit the news. But you tell them before it hits the news, because this is how you break their conditioning and their brainwashing. You say, hey, they got this new monkeypox variant they're going to be talking about, and I just want you to be aware of it, so when it hits, you won't be all afraid and brought into fear. And then they'll say some stupid stuff like, well, it's Trump's fault. He's the one that did it, blah, 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 blah. You say, I understand, but I'm just telling you what's coming down the pipeline. Don't say nothing else about it after that. Don't say nothing, because when it hits, then you're going to have the foundation to tell them what to do and what not to do. You have the foundation to give the instruction, because you go back to them when it hits and you says, well, man, this variant, this monkeypox, man, it's not really that dangerous, or for all we know, it might be, disease X. I'm not sure. But they need something to crash the economy. So I'm assuming that they're going to use monkeypox as cover to crash the economy. They're going to come back to Donald Trump and be like, oh, we need another vaccine. And then we'll have this conversation about, oh, you need to take your monkeypox vaccine, shut down the economy, crash everything. They have to do something. And don't think for a minute there weren't contingency plans on the shelf by the World Economic Forum and their peoples to try and get us to this moment, or to deal with this moment. Let's see.
For 40 monkeys that escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility in Yemisi. WJCL 22 News' Kyron Naveau live in the Low Country, keeping his head on a swivel with those primates on the run. And of course, this is a public safety alert. Kai, what is the latest on these missing monkeys?
So we got missing damn monkeys from a South Carolina bio research lab called Alpha Genesis. All right. Now, do I believe they got some missing monkeys? Hell no. I believe that the monkeys are probably the number of packages that have this virus or disease in it. But let's keep on going.
Well, Frank, good morning. So yeah, like you mentioned, 40 monkeys escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility. It happened around 9:45 last night, and police...
That boy don't even look like he believe what he's saying. Look at him. It happened like, watch this. He don't even look like he believe what he's saying. Look at his eyes.
So yeah, like you mentioned, 40 monkeys escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility. It happened around 9:45 last night, and police are asking anyone to just, if they see them, to stay away, and that's why we're here at the municipal complex here in Yemisi. But here's what police are doing right now to find those monkeys. Like I mentioned, 40 monkeys escaped 9:45 last night, and currently police have placed traps all around the area to capture those monkeys. Now, so far, I have no idea what those traps actually look like, and we're trying to get more information about that. But police are also utilizing on-site thermal imaging cameras in an attempt to locate these monkeys. Now, the monkeys are used at the facility for biomedical research. And this isn't the first time those monkeys actually escaped from the Alpha Genesis facility. Back in 2016, 19 monkeys made a break from the compound, but they were all captured about 6 hours later. Now,
you can't make it up, guys. You can't make this kind of stuff. What happened in 2016? Bro, you can't make it up. I just said, I don't believe the monkeys are actual monkeys. I believe the monkeys are packages, or it's like a signal. But I don't recall, I could be wrong. You guys have great memories, but I don't recall if we saw footage of people capturing monkeys. I do remember them talking about monkeys being loose, but I don't recall if we had actual footage of them putting monkeys in traps and bringing them back in. But so the monkeys only escaped when Republicans went office. That's the only time the monkeys. So the monkeys said, "Oh shit, we free. It's a Republican. Give us free." So these Amistad monkeys.
residents are being asked to lock
Give us free. Oh my goodness.
their doors, lock their windows, and if they
Hide
see
your
these
kids,
monkeys,
hide your kids, hide your
just
wife.
stay away and call police. Now, we're trying to make some contact with the local police here to get any update on if they captured any, but so far we have not heard back. Live in Yemisi, I'm Kyron Neveau. Back to you, Frank.
All right.
That boy don't seem like he worried about them damn monkeys. But, I mean, come on, guys. Let's just use a little bit of common sense, something most Democrats don't have. Monkeys escaped from a facility. And we news media people. And we go to talk about the monkeys. Right? I can't verify if that's the actual building. Hold on, so I won't be lying to you. Hold on, give me a second.
All right, Kai, again. Good.
I'm gonna make it big. The screen gonna mess up, but hold on. Can't make it big. Let me see if I can watch it on X. Give me a second. All right, let me see how I look for y'all, because I was noticing the other day. I got to be mindful of the placement. All right, so hold on a second. We're gonna listen to what they're saying. We want to see what the sign says. Municipal county. All right, so he's not at no damn location. He ain't at no damn biolab, unless there's a municipal county biolab. All right, so my theory is gonna go out of the window. But the point I'm making is this, and I'm still gonna stick with my major point. All right, if you was in a city and there was some real damn monkeys that escaped, that was 40 of them. It's 40 damn monkeys that's dangerous. Is you gonna be your ass out there doing a news report about some dangerous ass monkeys? No. We're gonna do this from the studio. I'm not going out there. It's dangerous. They got monkeys out there. And them monkeys it's got diseases. I ain't going out there. Well, James, we're gonna need you to go do a report. I ain't going. Well, what you mean? Black people don't do stuff like that. I ain't going. That's like being in a horror movie. I ain't going. That's what I'm gonna tell them. So, but anyway, it's still important that we get to the point that these people, of course, are going to release bioviruses. They told you they're going to release bioviruses. And here's the meme. Deep State Globalists this morning. Team Trump won. Released the bioweapons. I mean, it's sad, but it's true. That's what happened the last time he won. They released a bioweapon. And I said yesterday, Africa. Here it is. What is this? November 6th. UK identifies 4 cases of new monkeypox variant, the first cluster outside of Africa. Release the bioweapons. And that's all it is to it. It's simple to see what these people are doing and how they do it, because they keep running the same playbook. Manchester News. Give me this. Give me this. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Where's the actual article? Give it to me, baby. Most people would have this organized already, guys, but I don't care. Watch this. More cases of potentially dangerous monkeypox detected in the UK. Of course, the World Health Organization has declared a public health emergency of international concern. Now, guys, help me remember. Did we sign on to the World Health Organization treaty or did we not sign on to that treaty? Remember, there was this contention about signing on to the pandemic treaty for the World Health Organization. Did America sign on to that or not? Because if America signed on to that, then they about to come over here and shut everything down. I don't remember. I'm not saying I do remember, but many of you guys do because you're geniuses. So put it in the comments if we signed on, and then we'll do the video. If we have signed on to that pandemic treaty and we agreed to it, then we shall go down a rabbit hole tomorrow on this real deep, because this is an attack vector and everything is coming from this attack. If we did not, all it means is that we can get outside pressure and people crying and whining, boo-hooing, as the guy from Black Conservative Perspective says, boo-hoo, whining and crying, that we should shut down everything because monkeypox is around. Which, by the way, we all know that monkeypox targets a certain group of people. But keep it moving. 2 cases of potentially deadly strain of Mpox virus has been detected in the UK. They were detected in household contacts for the first case, the Health Security Agency has said. This brings the total number of confirmed cases of the clad LB Mpox strain in the country to 3. The country's first case was detected in London last week in a person who had been on holiday in Africa and traveled back to the UK on an overnight flight. Of course. You know, I'm going to tell you, I'm so sick and tired of them blaming everything on the Africans. Now watch this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got the border wide open. So they can say monkeypox is here already anytime they want, because you got all these damn random fucking people here. Point blank period. In fact, you can launch any kind of virus or war or attack you want at this point in time. I think right now they're still reeling. And of course, somebody was on the front of the World Economic Forum. People was like, release the bioviruses. They went into their little back room, and it was like, Satan, I need you, Satan. Come, Satan. Come help me, Satan. Satan showed up. Satan, what do we do? Satan said, you have failed me. I will kill all your children. He's like, my Lord, please, my Lord, don't take my family, my Lord. Well, you can have my oldest son. I hate him, my Lord, but my daughters, don't take my daughters, my Lord. Satan's like, release the bioviruses. Yes. And that's where we at. And that is where, something's wrong with me. That is where we at. There was one more thing I wanted to show you guys, and then I'm out of here. It was Zelensky. Watch this. I think I lost it. This was it. AOC blames Kamala Harris's loss on sexism and racism. Again, understand, so basically you're telling the majority of the nation that they're sexist and racist. This is the problem with the Democratic Party. A person can't disagree with you without being racist or sexist or misogynistic or whatever the hell terms you come up with. This is why people don't even talk to them. I promise you, you notice this. Since this election, you went to work and ain't nobody saying nothing to nobody. Ain't nobody walking over saying, yeah, how you felt about that? For the most part, people acting like it didn't happen. You want to know why? Because you can't hold a conversation with a liberal. For the most part, you cannot hold a, especially if they're a stranger. A family member, maybe, possibly, because there's family. But ain't nobody entertaining it. It's like the election never happened. And it makes perfect sense because everybody's at the point where we're like, yo, y'all people fucking crazy. I'm not trying to hold a conversation with you. And then you come out and reinforce crazy and says the reason why nobody voted for the candidate that nobody voted for in the first place, or people didn't vote for the candidate that none of y'all picked in the first place, y'all didn't even let y'all constituents pick them, is because of sexism and racism. Not an inkling of retrospection or introspection, whatever, not even looking inside to see what the hell you did wrong at all. At all. None whatsoever. And so this party is going to fail downward. And you got to realize You got congressional seats coming up soon. So you just had the 2024 election. If I'm not mistaken, in 2 years, you have another election. And what's going to happen between now and then is a lot of Democratic congressmen and senators, they're going to start moving towards, they're going to move away from this far leftist craziness. And they're going to try and move towards the center and get their messaging together, while simultaneously the progressive, I think that's the best part of the name for it, the progressive portion of the Democratic Party, which will be the extreme portion of the Democratic Party, is going to be screaming and whining and crying and saying, let me kill babies, let me have war, let me do sex changes, let me go in women's bathrooms. And those other people are going to be fleeing them because they've been rejected. But they're going to boo-hoo, why, cry, and go crazy, jump up and down, spit in people's faces. Everything is going to happen. And the reason why they lost, the real reason why they lost, is because they embraced the crazies. They thought that by embracing the crazy activists, those who were the extreme left, that it would translate all the way across the board. And that's just not how it works. You cannot embrace an extreme. I mean a far extreme. Well, to the point to where Antifa's out in the streets and they have the Chaz and they're taking over neighborhoods and sections of cities, to the point where Black Lives Matter is pretty much raping and pillaging areas of cities, and they're getting bailed out. And you thought that was just going to work out good for you? You didn't think that over time people were going to say, this is crazy, this crime is out of control, I can't believe they're doing it. Bruh. Anyway, I'll be back. I got some other things to do. I'll see you soon.